Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. Today's question is, what type of person could I be looking for? I'm going to say could because it's entirely up to you and you might not like the sound of the person described in the reading. So yeah, just take what makes sense to you, what seems attractive. Maybe you've never actually considered this sort of person before. And you might sort of think, oh yeah, I've never thought I could be with someone like that. And maybe now that you're a bit older, a bit more experienced, you might start thinking, yeah, they sound very nice, thank you very much. And you might try meeting someone like this. I mean, I hope they exist, this person that I'm describing. I'm not guaranteeing that you will meet them, but that maybe you could try and find someone like them. So I will stop rambling and tell you to choose between 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to put the timestamps to each of these 3 readings in the description box, along with my email address, my Instagram account link and a link to my PayPal Me account in case any of you would like to make a donation to my channel in support of the pick a card readings that I put on there. So I want you to sort of meditate, focus, close your eyes, think about previous partners that you'd like, express your curiosity and think, what type of partner could I be looking for? I want you to make your choice when you're ready. Trust your first instinct, don't doubt yourself, don't second guess yourself, just make your choice instinctively and trust that. If you need a little bit more time, then please press pause because I'm now going to be moving on to the first reading. Thank you. Okay, those of you that chose option 1, here is your reading. Now I've used the Goddess and Sirens card as well as the Gods and Titans card. So there's feminine aspects and masculine aspects, and this could contain details for like one person that sounds attractive to you, but if you would prefer to think of it as that you're looking for a lady or you're looking for a gentleman and you want to focus on just the 2 of the cards, you can do that, that's fine. Just take what makes sense to you, but I'm going to read them as a whole. So we've got Athena, strategy, we have Aphrodite, self-love, Kronos, shape-shifting, and we have Anubis, protection. I'm going to move those up a little bit so we can just fit everything in. So overall, yeah, you do need somebody, well, everybody needs someone that's confident and assured within themselves. Nobody needs someone that's insecure and unhappy. So I'm going to take that as a given. But what you in particular need with Athena is somebody that's smart, really, a bit of a problem solver. Athena, the goddess of Athens, she was a master strategist. She was the sort of goddess that was called upon to help the generals in the tent organising in front of a map, rather than being on the ground fighting dirty, no matter what this implies. She has wisdom because of the owl. So you do need someone that's generally quite smart, and they're also quite capable of managing all aspects of their life. They're a problem solver, actually, the people that symbolised by the Athena card. They strategise, and that's not in a negative way. I mean, if we're talking specifically about like a woman, she can multitask, she can manage working, getting the kids to school, dealing with the house, and I mean most working moms have to do that as well. They get a lot of support from their husbands, hopefully, but not all do, especially obviously if you're a single parent. But this person fundamentally is a problem solver. They can see solutions to everything. What's the phrase? There are no problems, only solutions. Well, for this person, that's true. They really can see an answer and a solution out of anything. And clearly, those of you that are attracted to reading 1, maybe you get yourself into lots of scrapes and need someone to help you guide your way out of it. Yeah, smart, a smart person. Aphrodite, self-love. So this person must love themselves, and that's to do with the external as well as the internal. They've got to feel confident in their attractiveness. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to be like Britain's next supermodel or America's next supermodel or whatever country that you're watching this video from. It doesn't mean that they have to be winning Miss World. It just means that they're there and they're swanning around with confidence and they go, yeah, I'm happy with who I am and the way I look. You know, they don't have to meet a particular ideal, although hopefully they may meet yours or may become your ideal for some of you. They're just confident. They just ooze it. They ooze the love they feel for themselves. They accept themselves utterly. And this is really reinforced by the Kronos shape-shifting card. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but this is an ancient European, Western European forest type god. It's, you know, the ancient Celts and Bronze Age and Iron Age people would have worshipped him. I don't think the origins of him are particularly well known because he's so old, but it's representative of being comfortable with all aspects of yourself. So you really do need somebody that's sort of accepting of themselves, the good and the bad, because we all have parts of ourselves that we love and are very proud of, and other aspects that we reject and are possibly ashamed of. But I think as you get older and you gain more experience and are more established, we all start to accept, well, this is just the way I am, and we don't necessarily feel the need to conform in a specific way to everybody else's ideals, because this person loves themselves, and they shift between their different identities with ease. And we all do have different identities within ourselves. We have the person that we are at home on our own, we're the person that we are with our families and friends that we've known forever and we can just be utterly comfortable with. We're a different person probably with our friends that we socialise with, the people that we work with, and we're a different person when we're in a relationship or the early stages of a relationship, when we're really trying to be on our best and attract our mate. So we're actually all different aspects of ourselves, but you need someone that can move between these different identities with ease, and that's because they love themselves and are comfortable with themselves. You really need somebody who's just comfortable with themselves. They're utterly assured, and this is more than the average not wanting somebody that's insecure. You really do need somebody that's empowered and confident and established in themselves. It's a bit of maturity with this, I think. And they're very adaptable. You need somebody that's adaptable. So maybe some of you want to lead a life that requires that adaptability. Traveling a lot maybe, so you need somebody that can move in different cultures with ease. Or if you're planning on being a big hot shot, you need someone that you can take to big fancy corporate things and that they can socialise with the boss and the plebs quite easily. If you understand what I mean, you need somebody that's a bit of an everyman or every woman, and that symbolises that. Anubis protection. This could mean that for some of you, more generally, you are attracted to someone that has a protective quality and that they're interested in everyone's well-being. More generally, like sort of, oh, are you okay? You know, how are you? You don't look well. You know, they're just generally considerate. But for others of you, it's more that you want somebody to protect you. You want somebody who has that quality that they can keep an eye on you, protect you, take care of you when you're in trouble. And it doesn't have to be physically protective. It can be emotionally and mentally protective because of this essence that possibly they are smarter than you. You might want somebody that's smarter than you because of this idea, well, I would like my children to be smart. Others of you just want somebody who's a great problem solver because you don't want to have to deal with problems. So you want somebody that's so independent, they're going to be, well, this broke this morning, but I've sorted it, or they're coming to fix it tomorrow, and you don't have to you don't want to be called and say, well, the tap's broken, so you need to fix it when you get home, or you need to organise the appointments, call the doctors and book me an appointment. You want somebody that's self-sufficient. And some of you do want somebody that's just going to anticipate your problems. I will say that if you're thinking, I just want somebody that just leaves it so that I don't have to worry about anything, that it's not healthy, because we do all need to be able to deal with our own problems and our own issues, even if they're mundane, like getting a plumber in to fix a tap or something, or calling the landlord to get something repaired. The less we do these things for ourselves, the rustier them will become, and the more frightening they become, because you suddenly think, but I don't know how to do that, it's been years since I've done that. Whereas if we're confident within ourselves to deal with problems ourselves, we could deal with them with ease. It doesn't necessarily mean that the problem itself, you could have a brand new problem that not many people have had to deal with, but because you'll have developed the skill set to deal with unusual and new and challenging problems regularly, you'll just be able to manage it. So that's my warning with that. Don't fall into the trap of being protected all the time. Some of you, it might be the reverse, that you want someone that you need to protect, but that's just going to be a small amount of you, that you want to mother them or father, like be the empowered wife or husband for them. I just feel that might be a small amount of people. But I think generally, yeah, you want somebody really super duper adaptable, who has the confidence to do that, to transform themselves really in many ways, and take on many masks, so that at home with you they're one person, but when you need them to really shine up their shoes and put their glad rags on and be great for you, they can do that. That stereotypical idea of the virgin and the whore, that everybody else thinks that they're this sweet, demure, dainty little thing, and then when we're in the bedroom. But I think for you that might be the case, that you need somebody that's very adaptable. And it doesn't mean in a shallow way for your own benefit, it's just that's possibly what you might find, that in your life you do need someone like that, because maybe your life's a bit more chaotic. That could also symbolise that when it's just you and they, this adaptability, that they'll say things to you in private, but when you're out in, they might say to you, oh, your aunt's a cow, and what, are you married for 8 times, blah, blah, blah. But to their face, to your aunt's face, they'll go, oh, 8th time lucky, everything will be fine, because they're protective of your feelings and your relationship with other people. So it can manifest in that. Right, those of you that chose option 1, that's all I can see in this little reading. I hope that it's resonated with you, and if you do like the sound of this person, I do hope that you find someone like it at some point. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take a very good care of yourself. Leave me any comments if you would like to, and thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Okay, those of you that chose option 2, here is your reading. So I've used the Goddesses and Sirens deck along with the Gods and Titans deck for like feminine and masculine. Now I'm going to be reading it as an entire person with like different qualities, but if you are looking specifically for a lady or a gentleman and want to divide the two, that's fine, that's entirely up to you. Take what resonates. But otherwise, a person that you might like to think about trying to meet is someone, Amaterasu, which is self-esteem, so you need somebody that knows their own worth. Rhiannon, self-trust, you need somebody that can trust their own judgment and instincts and so on. You also need someone who's like Odin, with the ability to guide, and Vishnu, who is balanced. Okay, so This is somebody, you need somebody that understands that you love them, and that they understand how much you value them. Because Amaterasu, I apologise if I'm not pronouncing this correctly and absolutely butchering it. She was, I'm positive it's Japanese silk goddess, who her brother was jealous and he destroyed all of her silkworms, and she was so upset she went into a cave and wouldn't come out because she just felt, you know, her work had been destroyed and she felt so devalued. But everybody else around her came and trying to lure her out of the cave. Come on, we love you, come back out, don't be so upset. And she wouldn't. And so they started to have a bit of a party outside her cave and were singing and dancing and telling her how much they loved her and wanted her to come out. And she did. And she came out because of the realisation that everybody loved and valued her rather than what she produced, what she made, the silk. And that's what you need, somebody who understands their own true value beyond what they offer, self-esteem. But I think that does extend to your relation to them, that you want them to recognise it's not that they might have a great deal in the terms of earning power or assets, or that you might enhance their career, or they might enhance your career in case you're a man, or even in case if you're a woman actually. But you want them to recognise that you love them just for themselves, that it's just them, you know, all the other stuff's a bonus. So yeah, you need somebody empowered, self-confident. You need someone that really doesn't doubt themselves. Rhiannon doubted herself. This is a Welsh myth, a Welsh story where Rhiannon married the King of Wales, and they had a child together, but her mother-in-law hated her, and so kidnapped the child, smeared blood all over the place. This is while Rhiannon was sleeping in the night, and took the child, spread blood all over the place, and raised the alarm and told everybody that Rhiannon had killed the baby in her sleep. And because Rhiannon didn't know what had happened because she was fast asleep, she was sort of, well, maybe it must have happened like that. And sort of her husband sort of banished her and said, you know, didn't have her executed, but said, you know, you've got to basically be a servant in the kitchens. And it was only as she sort of thought about it and dreamt and sort of had her memories come back, she thought, no, I didn't do it to my child. And the story goes on, she does find her child back again, and brings her son back to the castle, and they're all reunited and the evil mother-in-law is banished. And she never doubts herself again and has earned wisdom from it. So you need somebody that, even though they might have gone through that sort of process where they've doubted themselves, they don't anymore. They have self-esteem and self-confidence. They trust in their own judgment. They don't hesitate to judge, and if they make a decision, they stick to it. Sort of decisive in a way, but not, you know, completely. They just really trust. So that when you're in an argument, they might not give in because they trust what they believe in and what they say and what they believe is right. You also need somebody that's got wisdom, Odin guidance, the All-Father, the person that, you know, that could be relied upon to solve things and answer problems. So you need somebody that's willing, that's someone you can talk to, talk your problems through with, that they can give you an insight and a wisdom and sort of see things in the way that you can't because of the, you know, the Odin and the eyes and all that. You know, All-Father, all-seeing. And that's what you probably need, is someone that can see things in a way that you can't. You know, maybe they have a different brain, a different wavelength, a different thought processes, or just quite simply a different life experience that allows them to see the world in a different way to you. And so you can turn to them and they'll have a way of seeing through it, helping you in some way and supporting you. We also have Vishnu, which is balance. So overall, you do need a very grounded, balanced person. They're not overly emotional, they're not overly cold and logical, they're not overly concerned with like finances and assets, like, and they're not overly passionate and angry. they're a little bit of all of those. They're concerned about everybody's emotional well-being. They can be intelligent and thoughtful and think things through, and they can be passionate and fiery, but not all the time, and not, you know, to the expense of other things. They can be really grounded as well. Most likely because you're very grounded and balanced between all the aspects of yourself, mind, heart, body and soul and all the rest. And so you want someone like that. Some of you might be all over the place, and so you need a more balanced person in order to bring you stability and allow you to become more balanced. But I think generally there's quite a lot of people that are going to watch this that just want someone that's quite like themselves, that's not all over the place, and it isn't going to go crazy or really cold on them, or be obsessed with the finances of the relationship and so on. Yeah. You just don't want a doubter. You don't want a doubter. You want, again, a bit like the other one, you want a grown up, but a slightly different grown up. Someone you can turn to in times of crisis and that will balance you out. Yeah, some of you want someone to balance you out. So if you're really passionate and very to do with your emotions, you're going to want somebody that's perhaps a bit more logical and intellectual, and very grounded in order to balance you out, because they need you to sort of pep them up a bit, and you need them to lower you down a bit so you're not so out there. Yeah, I think that's your reading, those of you that chose option 2. Please let me know in the comments section if it resonated with you, has made any sort of sense. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take very good care of yourself, and thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Okay, those of you that chose option 3, here is your reading. So I've shuffled out cards from 2 decks, the Gods and the Titans and the Goddesses and Sirens decks. I'm going to be reading this as a whole person, but if you're wanting to divide them because you're thinking specifically of feminine qualities and masculine qualities because you're looking for a lady or a gentleman, that's fine. Do whatever suits you and whatever resonates with you. I wanted 2 of each, but in this one, 3 just flung themselves out of the deck, so I took them. So we'll just see what kind of person you can be thinking about trying to meet, find. Artemis, individuation. Bast, play. Isis, protection. Prometheus, altruism, and Ra, power. Okay, I think you can just see them all. So, it's been a theme through all of the readings where everybody's looking for somebody that's a bit more real, mature, grown up. This is the first time I've had a card that refers to having fun and being light-hearted, which is really strange. I found that quite interesting. Yeah. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Artemis. Individuation. Artemis is the goddess who is the daughter of Zeus and Leto, and she was just born, I think it's Zeus's leg. I might be mixing up my myths. But you need somebody that's a true individual and not afraid to be an individual. So for some of you, it's to do with fashion, that you're both actually maybe somebody that has a quite a distinct sense of style. Now that could be that you have a niche interest and you're really you like to dress up in a specific set of clothes and makeup that's unique to your area in the world. Others of you just want them to stand out because they're different. And that could be the way they think or say things or behave, in that you just look at them and you think, yeah, nobody else is like that in the rest of the world. And they also are not afraid to be distinct, unique individual, to be different. Artemis said to her father, I don't want to get married and have children. I want to stay a virgin forever, by which she meant to never marry. to never be under the power of a man. So you want somebody that's sort of empowered in their individuality and their sense of self. But specifically for this reading is that they're different. In some way they are different. And it might be for some of you that it's now time to start thinking of someone that's completely different to what's gone before. Rather than having someone that just is like a Vivienne Westwood type, you know, and wears like really distinct clothes. You might need somebody that is just different to what you've been with before, if that makes any sense. I've got to include that because some of you might be repelled by the idea that somebody's uniquely distinct, but recognise that you might want to meet somebody that's different because it's such a general reading. You definitely need to find someone you can have fun with. Whether that's because you're quite serious and dour, I don't know, but you need to have someone that is playful, that you can have fun with, that will crack a joke, or that you have the same sort of or similar sense of humour and share fun. Bast is an Egyptian goddess. She's a cat goddess, so this sense of curiosity, you know, curiosity killed the cat. You need someone that's curious with a sense of humour and a sense of fun and wants to play. And of course play is distinct to the individuals, so I think this is going to be somebody that has fun in a similar way to you. So some of you, it's like literally you both enjoy stand-up comics, or have similar sense of humour, or you both have fun in the same way that, I don't know, you like to go to Comic-Con or something. Do you know what I mean? That it's similar. You can have fun with this person. So maybe you're quite serious, or you have a high intensity job and you want somebody that you can relax and have fun and share a joke with, but fun. But I include curiosity because we've got this individual that's curious about the world. And also there's a bit of maturity there because of this element of protection. And there was another reading with protection in, but it was another Egyptian god, by the way. But this comes through as feminine protection. So this is definitely more that they're protective of you, but in an emotional sort of nurturing way, rather than a physically sort of I will defend you way. Isis, her husband was murdered by his brother. Her husband, Osiris, his body parts were scattered around the world, and she had to find them, pick them up, gather them up, and put them together to bring him back to life. These were all gods, by the way, you know. So they were magical beings, they could. And she did it. They conceived a child together. Eventually he died and she let him go. But the point is that she got him back together. So I think that for a lot of you, you want somebody that will help you get through the bad times, that will stick with you. So when things go wrong, as they will, they've got your back. They'll probably crack a joke at the same time and get you smiling, and they're not afraid to do that because they're not afraid to be different. But they'll protect you. They will protect you in some way, emotionally or mentally, mixture of both. And sort of, you know, rally round and sort of say, no, we can get this back together, and you know, in a sense, put you back together, and help you get yourself back together, because of this element of protection, of keeping an eye out for you. You do need somebody, and I think this is more generally, that thinks of others. Altruism. This is a sense of doing good for other people, even though it doesn't benefit you. So by that, I'm thinking some of you are just thinking, yeah, I've always wanted to be somebody that's always donated to charity, or thought about charity, or is a charity worker, or is just a generous spirit who will, if somebody needs help, will offer it. Remember this element of protection. Others of you are thinking that they will do the best for the relationship, for the two of you together, that it must benefit the relationship rather than themselves as an individual. So although they're still very much an individual and independent, they do prioritise the relationship. But yeah, for others of you, it really is that there's somebody that thinks about the needs of others, that really cares about the overall well-being of everyone, I think is the best way I can put it. That, you know, understands, you know, like, oh, so and so needs this, well, we're going to have to provide it for them because they need it. You know, we can do without, but they can't. They understand the other person, the people in want, because remember, Prometheus saw humans and saw how they were suffering and stole fire for humans so that they could thrive. And I'm not saying that they're a thief, but somebody that understands that other people need more than they do. They understand probably their privilege and that other people are in want. So we have here Ra, which is power. And that's just basically, you need somebody that understands their own power and that can radiate it from within out. You know, they can absolutely, they do have power and they control it and they use it to and express it. You know, this sense of protection, so this sense of standing up for you, being empowered. This is quite an empowered person, you know, because of this sense of individuality, of valuing what they have and valuing what other people should have. But they also have curiosity and a sense of fun. So as much as this person you might meet thinking, Jesus, they're so powerful, they've just got such authority and strength, and they're so sort of protective and sort of wanting to keep an eye on the vulnerable, helping the underdog and the needy, but they're so like funny and light-hearted, and they want to have fun and you know, want to know the answers to things. You know, you want quite an interesting person, I think. This seems quite an interesting person to me. Simultaneously desiring to nurture and protect and create, whilst being a unique individual who thinks about others whilst laughing. No, think about others while laughing. I didn't mean that. Wants to have fun, but also to help others. Yeah, quite a nice grown-up, interesting person. So I hope that you find someone like this. If you think, oh yeah, they sound wonderful, I do hope that you meet someone like it, and that they're out there and available for you. I can't see any more with this. I just noticed you've got 3 Egyptian gods, which is interesting. Bast, Isis and Ra. So there you go, that's your reading, those of you that chose option 3. Please let me know in the comment section if it has helped you, if it resonates with you. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take very good care of yourself, and thank you very much for listening to me. Bye.